Hey everybody, welcome to Let Me Share a Thought with you. This morning I am going to do, as promised, some weekly chart video, or a weekly chart video for everybody. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this in 3 installments. I'm going to do it this week, next week, and the following week, just because I had so many replies as to which states to include. I didn't really want to leave anybody out, so what I'm going to do, just in case your state is not on the list today, don't immediately tune out, because what I want to do is kind of show you how I come up with weekly charts, how to make your own weekly chart if you choose to do so, and that, will kind of preface everything I'm going to be doing today. But if your state's not on the list and you do want to do a weekly chart, by the end of the video you should have a pretty good grasp of how to do that. How to pick your numbers, what date numbers to use, and so forth. So, and also, if you notice today, and I'll explain a little more, because today is Tuesday, and obviously the week starts on Monday. So there is a reason that I'm doing the videos on Tuesday instead of Monday, and I'll explain that when I get to the first chart here in just a second. So the states that I'm doing in this week's weekly charts video are Michigan, South Carolina, Florida, Maryland, New York, Texas, and North Carolina. I've tried to go with the ones that responded or replied or left comments in the videos first. If your state's not on the list and you replied immediately, I apologize, but I went back and looked at the comments and tried to put them in some kind of chronological order. So anyway, with all that being said, I'm going to flip to the next page here, and I'm going to show you the schedule of states for the next couple weeks videos. And I apologize if this isn't real clear. I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe I just didn't use the darker ink or something this morning. But anyhow, on next Tuesday, which will be for the week of 9/25, I'll be doing Georgia, New Mexico, Kentucky, Indiana, Nebraska, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Tennessee, California, and Indiana. I didn't do as many states on the first week this week just because I wanted to do a little extra explaining and a little extra talking, so I didn't want the video to be an hour long. The following week, the week of October the 2nd, I'm doing Oklahoma, Louisiana, Missouri, Wisconsin, Washington, Ohio, Connecticut, the UK, and Canada. So that ought to be an interesting weekly video. So if you guys aren't on the list and you want to be on the list, I could probably fit in 1 or 2 more states for that final week's video. And if I get enough, interest in this, and enough views and likes and so forth, I'll continue to do this as much as I can. But wanted to get this out, to say thank you to everybody for the 5,000 subscribers. We're now almost at 5,400, and I'm a week past putting this out, so my apologies with the hurricane coming up the East Coast and personal things. I just couldn't find time to put in the right amount of time to give you guys good information, and I don't want to put up videos just to put up videos. I'd like to put up things that actually help you. So let's get started with the weekly charts. I think the first one I did here is Michigan. And what I might do is go ahead and zoom in just a little bit on these to hopefully make this a little more clear, because I think they're all about the same size. So, alright, so in Michigan, and this to get to the explanation of why I'm doing this on Tuesday instead of Monday, is that when you're doing weekly charts, the weekly chart number fluctuates from state to state, week to week. And you never really know, in my opinion, the best draw to use for the weekly chart until after you've seen, the Monday numbers. So I like to look in, Monday daytime, Monday evening drawings to see, which chart they fell on. Like in this case in Michigan, what I do is I start with the Sundays, or the last draws of the week. Like in Texas, they don't have a Sunday drawing, so I looked at the Saturday drawings. And I start with the evening. I generally look at the Sunday evening drawing and see how the chart falls, see what numbers fell on Monday, if those numbers were actually on the chart or not. In Michigan's case, the day drawing from Sunday actually had the numbers for this week on it, so that's why we're using 875. 875 was drawn on 9/17, which was Sunday, day drawing in Michigan. And I missed a 7. Somebody will be commenting on that. Ooh, 7 there. So, and I'm using, regardless of which day drawing or which drawing I'm using, I'm always using the Monday date as the date number. So you take 9 plus 18 equals 27. Leave off the 10s place, just use the 1s, which is the 7. So we're circling all the 7s for the date number on the chart. I didn't write my 317 up here just because, you know, at this point I've been doing this for so long. You know, that's the only number I use. I feel comfortable with it. It works, you know, consistently across the country. You know, I've seen a lot of, you know, there's a million videos out there now. You know, since I started doing this, you know, a little over a year ago, you know, it's popped up a lot of people putting out videos and predictions and, you know, a million different ways to do the lottery and the tic-tac-toes and the different number sequences and things. But for me personally, you know, I'd rather just stick to one thing and get better at it than try to keep, you know, reinventing the wheel, so to speak. So in Michigan, looking at the chart here, yesterday's numbers were 536 and 994. That's what fell in Michigan on Monday. Now, if you notice, the 536 really is not on the chart. You'd have to, you know, flip a number. Like the 0 is a mirror of 5, 8 is a mirror of 3. So you've got the 536 flipping an 8 here, or flipping a 0 here. You got the 536. So, and then if you look at the evening draw in Michigan, there was no number on that chart at all. So the 994 is right here in reverse order. But my picks for Michigan for this week, getting down to the skinny here, is 554. I like 818, 980, 621, and 462. So those are numbers that if I lived in Michigan, I would be playing all week long. I also, you know, another thing that I've seen on a lot of other people's videos is they pick 1,000 numbers and tell you play this on this day and that day and, you know, whatever. But I'm going to try to keep it simple and keep it small. As always, you know, you can use my numbers if you like them. If you don't, you know, you definitely use the chart and pick some of your own numbers from the chart. I did go back and look at histories for each state, and that's why I'm not doing as many states in one video, because I did a lot of research when I was putting these numbers together. So here is my Michigan chart, and I've heard a lot of people say Michigan's a hard state to hit, so we'll see how we do on this. My first or second attempt. I've not done Michigan a whole lot, so good luck, Michigan. All right, moving on to South Carolina. South Carolina, the evening drawing from Sunday was 620, which actually worked out good for the chart this month. Again, you know, the double on this one had a mirror number in it, flip, so you got 151 because the 6 is actually a mirror of 1. If you're not sure about the mirrors, if you go back and look at some of my other videos, the tutorials on how to make your own chart, or I think it's on that one. If not, you know, leave me a comment and on the next video I'll explain it again. But so with all that being said, we got the 7 circled on the chart once again. The numbers that I like for South Carolina this week, I like 814, 747, 482, 941, and 416. Again, those are good day and night, you know, from now until Sunday, basically. The weeks generally start over, in the lottery world, they start over on Sunday, but I'll play these numbers all the way through Sunday. And I actually, you know, living right on the North and South Carolina border, I will be playing these numbers this week. So, you know, but if you don't like my numbers, again, use the chart, pick your own. You know, you may see something on there that jumps out at you that I didn't see, or, you know, I see differently. So, all right, good luck, South Carolina. Florida, which hopefully is not getting ready to get hit by another hurricane. I know you guys had a rough week, a rough couple weeks in Texas as well. So prayers and thoughts are out to you guys, and hopefully everybody's doing okay. Hopefully this can get you back, take your mind off of some of that mess and get back to some semblance of normalcy down there. Florida ended up saying, you know, the Sunday evening draw was the right number for this chart. And if you're not sure, because I don't know if I explained it as well as I probably could have, but if you just do, like, take your last 2 draws of the week, you know, whether it be Sunday daytime, Sunday night, or like in Texas, they have a Sunday evening and Saturday evening and a Saturday night. Take your last 2 draws, do a chart for both draws, and then wait till Monday, you know, finishes. Look at the numbers that came out on Monday and find out which chart, you know, the majority of the numbers fell on. And that's how I'm coming up with the different numbers to use for the chart. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. If not, leave me a comment. Next week when I do the next video, I'll try to, you know, come up with a better way to say it, or, you know, a more simple way to say it. So for Monday, yesterday in Florida, we had 716 and 895. Florida was actually good on this because they had the 716 up here, you know, the 76 and 1. And then the 895, you know, again, was all up here. So this area of the chart so far has been pretty good. You may, you know, look at picking numbers from here if you don't want to use my numbers. I did pick a couple from that area as well. It's like the first 3, 4. Actually, I picked all of the numbers. All the numbers from this are going to be in this top section, and a couple of them are down here as well. But anyway, I like the 560, which is here. 385, which is here, and also here. That's another thing too, that while I'm talking about things that I look at and patterns and, you know, different things like that, I've noticed if the number is at the top and the bottom of the chart, you know, that number's 10 times more likely to hit than if it's just in one area of the chart. So on the next one, 865, you know, it's up here, you know, it's going all through these top 2 sevens, but there's nothing down here. And then 725, you got 725 here and here. So that's another one of those numbers I really like. And then of course the last one, 630, is here and here and here. And it connects all the way up. So that might be the hot number for Florida this week. We'll see how it goes. I'll take a look at this stuff at the end of the week and see. And by all means too, you know, let me know, give me some feedback how these numbers are working or not. Let me know when you win. I love to hear that kind of stuff. You know, try to keep it positive. I definitely try to make this a positive channel and not, you know, do a lot of negative trash talking or, you know, saying mean things to people. That's not how I roll. So let's go on. Good luck, Florida. Maryland's number came from Sunday evening as well. And sometimes, like in your state, it may be a, you know, night drawing instead of evening. I just call everything that happens at night evening. The last draw of the night is an evening draw in my world. So 786 was the number that fell Sunday night. Again, you got your sevens. On Monday, 2 of my favorite numbers, 426 and 128, fell. Both of those are pet numbers for me. I play them all the time. But anyway, and you can see, I mean, the 426 is right here and here, like I was saying a minute ago, top and bottom. And then the 128, you know, is actually a flip on this one as well. So you either flip a 3 here for 128, or down here you can do the same with the 7. You know, the 7 is a mirror of 2, so you got the 821, or 128 rather. So my picks for this week in Maryland, like 213, 914, 221, 960, and 225. Hopefully that'll give you guys some help over there in Maryland, and good luck to you. New York, and I made myself a little note here, which I didn't even pick numbers for New York. Let's do that together then. New York is actually, instead of pick 3, they call it numbers. Which I love the New York Lottery website. That's one of my favorite ones to look at, just because their little motto is, you never know. So the number for the New York chart, I don't know how I didn't finish this, but I'm going to do this live on camera here so we can pick them together. 251 fell evening Sunday, so we did the chart. We got the 7s circled. 140, which is right here, and 942, which is also right here, fell in New York on Monday. So just looking at this chart, and I'll, you know, share this with you real quick. Right off the bat, I'm looking at the 6s here. I see the 163. I like that number a lot. 363. So let's go with the 163. These are going to be my picks. Apologies for this one. I did not mean to leave this one hanging out there for everybody. And then we got, let's see, what else do we got here? The 190. And this one I did not look back to see the history. So if these numbers just came out like 2 days ago, you may pick something else. But you know, I try not to look at the history until after I've picked my numbers anyway. Just because, you know, there's been a lot of repeat numbers across the country, and I don't want to talk myself out of picking a number that's obviously on the chart. You know, the doubles are looking pretty good on this chart as well. You know, we've got that 818 that's falling everywhere across the country. The 441 down here, I've seen that in several states. And let's pick one more. Let's see here. How about the 217? We got 217 coming across here, and then we got the 271 up here. So let's call that 217. All right, so New York, my picks for this week: 163, 190, 818, 441, and 217. So let's see how good I do off the cuff. I think this is going to be good. All right, good luck in New York. Texas. Another state that's been beat up in the last month, and hopefully everybody's doing well down in Texas. The number for Texas that I'm using is the 916. It's actually the night. This is the very last draw of Saturday, because they don't do a Sunday drawing. It actually worked out. Texas does 4 draws a day. So as we look at the chart, you'll see like the 195, 012, 401, and 982 were the numbers that fell on Monday. And again, that, you know, the 8 seems to be the mirror number this month for every state. But 982, I mean, you could flip any one of these 7s to a 2, and you get 982. The 401, I'm doing these backwards too. 401 is right here connecting these two. 012 is right here, and then the 195 is actually a mirror or a flip as well. You got the 0, which is the mirror of 5 right here. Anyway, so hopefully I don't keep saying anyway a million times on this video, but that's how I roll as well. All right, so my picks for Texas this week: I like 765, 543, 562, 854, and 818. Another 818. That number is due everywhere here in North Carolina as well, but I've seen it falling quite a bit in other states. So good luck, Texas. Let's move on to the final state here, which is my home state of North Carolina. North Carolina, actually, the chart, and this is, again, this is why I do this, because North Carolina is notorious for, you know, changing back and forth every day, and you have to really work hard on the North Carolina. Virginia's the same way. You know, I don't know if it's a matter of them switching hoppers or, you know, what the difference is, but, you know, if you know how to look for things, you can find them. If you don't, then sometimes you blindly spend money and lose all the time. So in North Carolina, the day drawing on Sunday was actually the number that I used for the weekly chart, just based on the first 2 draws of Monday. And again, that's why I wait till Tuesday, because if I'd have used the Sunday evening draw, I'd have not had anything close. So 975 and 519 fell in North Carolina yesterday, both of which were down here at the bottom. You got the 975 and you got the 519. Not in order, obviously, but that's you know, 2 picks right here on the chart for the first 2 of the week. Now, North Carolina actually put 1 extra because I couldn't decide on this last number, but we'll talk about that in just a second. I like 810, which is moving back up toward the top. 469, which is all over down here at the bottom. 414, again, that's one of those other numbers that I've been seeing. 921, and I actually did a mirror flip on that one myself, just because of these 6s and 7s down here. I like that 921 flipping a 6. 467 is, you know, all over these 3 down here. And then the 769 was, you know, do I go this way or do I go that way? So I went both ways for North Carolina. I like the 769 and the 467. So hopefully this is all helpful information to you guys. You know, if I didn't do your state today, you know, just understand all I'm doing is I'm waiting until Monday night. I'm looking at the numbers that fell on Monday, and then I'm going back to Sunday, looking at both draws, day and night, or like as in Texas and South Carolina even doesn't have a daytime Sunday. I look at the last 2 draws of the week, no matter what day and when they were, and I'll do a chart for both of those last 2 drawings. Then I'll compare it with the 2 numbers that came out on Monday and see which chart has those numbers on it. Generally speaking, you're not going to see those numbers on both charts, so it'll be pretty distinct as to which chart to use. Whichever chart has the numbers on it, that's the one you go with. And then from there, you just do like you do on every other chart. You know, you got your date numbers of 7 for this week, just based on the date of Monday, 9/18. And then you pick around the 7s. You know, if you notice that, like in this case, both numbers were from the bottom, you know, I weighted heavily on my numbers, picking them from the bottom as well, because that's where it's starting. But it moves too. I mean, sometimes the numbers will switch up to the top. You know, so you got to kind of watch throughout the week. I mean, and don't be afraid to adjust your numbers. If you get to Thursday and you picked all the numbers down here, and on Wednesday they all moved up here, you know, you may want to scrap these numbers for the rest of the week and place some numbers up here. But anyway, you just got to, you know, look at your numbers, know your patterns, you know what numbers, you know, come. And the date number is another, you know, important thing to look at. You know, a lot of times, you know, if you've seen a lot of these charts, the date number is actually in the number from the drawing that had the right picks in it. You know, so that's, and I'll do some more explaining on that in a later video. I don't want to muddy the waters too much with that, but there are a lot of different ways to kind of narrow down, you know, using this chart, using this system to make your picks even better. So hopefully we'll have a good week. I look forward to hearing from everybody. You know, thank you again for all your comments and questions. I will be doing a couple more of these videos, you know, at least. Like I said, if I get enough positive feedback on this stuff, that I may do some more and, you know, continue to put out some weeklies. The daily videos, you know, was without doing, you know, 1,000,000 states, which takes hours and hours and hours to do. You know, I'd rather just do a tutorial again on how to do a weekly, or I'm sorry, a daily chart if you guys need to know that again. Or you can just go back and watch one of the videos I did in the past explaining it. But as always, you know, I appreciate everybody. You know, be sure to let me know when you win. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. Hit the like button and leave me a comment. And if you guys ever want to support the channel, I've got a link in the description below to the PayPal. And that's really just for people who, you know, if you win a ton of money off of the numbers that I'm giving you and you feel like you want to give something back, by all means, you know, at least, if you win some money, go out and do something nice for somebody else. Our world needs that right now. We need everybody looking out for each other. So, you know, take $5 and you know, buy somebody's lunch, or, you know, do something nice for somebody else. So, all right, that's all I got to say about that. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you next time.